Alright, hey, Hazebig here, and we're gonna go finish up, well, I'm gonna start finishing up the work on the rear wheel for my new track wheel setup, alright? In the last video I finished the front wheel, alright, we put the rim strip on, put the tire and the tube and the rotor on, and then that was it, and then we made sure it fit and everything. So we're pretty much going to do the same thing with this. I won't be installing the rotor on this because I don't have a rear brake on my bike anymore, but I do have regen, so I'm going to try running it without the rotor. Just less stuff to brake, and it'll lighten up the bike a little bit, I guess. And I got this today. Alright, Dunlop Moto 3. There we go. That's the tire that we're going to be running on this rim. It's the exact same size tire that's on the front. Alright, so Hades Vegas, I went over it in a previous video, but the reasoning that I wanted to go with the same tire is this tire, the recommended rim size for this tire is 2.5 inches, okay? And there was a range 2.15 to 2.5. And well, guess what? My front rim is a 2.15. So like this tire fits perfectly on both of the wheels. All right, and I think it's okay because this wheel is wider than the front one, so it's going to have a slightly shorter profile. It's going to be stretched out a little bit more than the front. The front will be a little taller, the back will be a little lower, so it'll be a little different. From what I heard, if you have the tires the same size on the front and the back, it makes the bike more unstable at high speeds. But I don't know. What is high speeds? That's a good question. Like 70 miles an hour is about as fast as this bike goes. So that's what I'm gonna say. so like, but I needed to. Well, the reason that we're putting these tires on the bike is we need the bike to corner better. All right, we need more grip. All right. And we're just not getting it with those street tires, so that's why we're putting these on. We need the bike to turn better. It's got plenty of power to go fast, all right? It's pretty stable, high speed, if you ask me. I mean, if you wanted to make it more stable, you could probably make a longer swing arm or something, all right? But that's a lot of money. Okay, all right, but yeah, Dunlop Moto 3. I just ordered it last week and it came today, all right, via FedEx. And it was $125 and then $20 to ship. Total damage $145. All right, I think it's better to buy them in pairs, so I think they can combine the shipping and stuff. But I didn't know the rear tire is a 115 and this is a 90. All right, so the 115 is actually too big for this rim, according to that. However, I found out we could run a 110 on this. All right, if I wanted to, I could run a 110 in the Supermoto size, and it would be fine, all right? But it would still be a front tire. We'd still have to flip it, all right? So that's another thing. We got to flip this. This is a front tire. We're going to run it on the rear, so we got to flip it, all right? We got to run it the opposite rotation, okay, that it was designed for, because this is designed for the front tire, okay? Does it say that on it? I don't know. Doesn't really say. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, but this is the tire we're going to be using. Maybe in the future, if I'm not happy with this or I want to try something else, we could try the 110 for the rear. All right, I think that'll be fine. The 100 fits perfectly on the bike, I know that. All right, and a 110 I think would be fine if we moved it over a little bit. All right, but with this tire we won't have any interference. I guarantee you, we probably won't have any interference with the chain. All right, unless the rim touches the chain. All right, I've seen that happen before on certain bikes. All right, so hopefully it won't happen with this one. I think it should be fine. If not, we could dish it. We could move it to the side a little bit. So we'll do. All right, so that's the update for the rear wheel. All right, we'll be installing this later in the video. All right, that's what I'm saying. Okay, that's the tire that we'll be running. And then so what I got going on in this part of the video is we're going to grind the spokes down. All right, so if you look at the spokes, we'll take a closer look at it in a bit. You'll see that they're protruding from the nipple. All right, and then if you look at the one from the other bike, none of them do that. All right, they're pretty far in there. So what I'm going to do is take this guy, all right, a Dremel, and we're going to grind the spokes down. All right, the spokes are made out of stainless steel, I think, so it's going to be kind of a bitch to grind. So we'll see. If not, we'll try something else. All right, we'll try we'll try the more heavy duty grinder. Or oh, you know what I realized? We could use this. Yeah, we could use this. Oh yeah, you know what? Maybe that would be better. I don't know. Let's try this first. I'm going to try this first. We'll see how fast it is. If it's taking too long to use this, we could use this, or we could use the angle grinder, right? But the angle grinder is like, that thing will take off a lot, like real fast. So maybe too fast. All right, so I may grind a little bit of the nipple down, the face of the nipple, but that's okay. I never use that to tighten it anyways. We always use the, you know, the square part to tighten it. All right, so that's what I got going on in this video. And then the next part would be to install this sprocket. All right, this is the sprocket that we'll be using. I'll go over it when we install it. This is the Warp9 48 tooth rear sprocket. This is the same sprocket that we're running on the dirt bike wheel. All right, the 16-inch dirt bike wheel that I'm running. All right, it's held up pretty good, and we're going to use this for racing. This is what you want. All right, it's super duper light, and it's still pretty strong. All right. So far, it's held up pretty damn good on my dirt bike wheel. All right. So let's get started. So the main thing is, yeah, we're gonna go shave those spokes down. All right. Okay. So let's check this rim out. All right. So in the previous videos, I'd tightened the spokes already. All right. We went and tightened the spokes, and I did some. I checked the true with this guy. Okay. And it's pretty straight, all right? At least I think it is. It might wobble a little bit now because I started tightening up spokes and stuff. So I made sure all the spokes were tight and how I want them. And then now we're gonna go start grinding. So if you look here, the spokes are sticking out a little bit, all right? That's not how the way it was before, okay? So the ones that are sticking out from the top of the nipple, we're gonna grind them because I don't want to have problems with these puncturing the tube or anything. I know we're gonna have a rim strip over this, but I think you know, I'm gonna grind it a little bit. See, some of them are sticking out a whole lot. Like I got my fingernail stuck on it, and it's not budging. Like pretty much I could stick my whole fingernail on top of that. All right, there's probably a good 2 millimeters sticking out from the top. I feel that that's like too much. All right, not all of them are like that. See, this one is flush pretty much. This one's sticking out. These are sticking out. This one is almost flush, sticking out. This one's sticking out a tiny bit. So this one is not sticking out at all. See, this is the way it's supposed to look. See, it's supposed to just kind of just be inside there a little bit. That's what I say, all right? But all of these are like sticking out. The flush ones can stay. The ones that are they're sticking out a lot, I gotta grind them, all right? And we're gonna use this guy. Okay, I used the little ball, the ball end to grind it. All right, let me go get some safety glasses right here, and let's get started. Okay, I'm gonna do this one for demonstration purposes, and then I'm just gonna get a video, be doing it accelerated, and then that'll be it. All right, hopefully this won't take very long. All right, so I'm gonna be doing this one right here. It's kind of hard to get in there, man. Okay, did you get that? Okay, yeah, just grind it down until it's kind of flush. If it's sticking out a little, that's okay, but if it's sticking out a whole lot, like 1 or 2 millimeters, then yeah, I'm gonna grind it. Like this one up here is fine. This one right here is fine. Oop. Okay, got it. So now this one is about pretty flush now. That's how I want it. Alright. Okay, I'm just gonna speed it up and then I'll show you what my final product. Like I said, they're just gonna be flush, that's all. Whew. Okay, so that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I busted this out, but I was like, this was kind of too hard to use, and it ran out of air really quick. So what really did the trick is the corded Dremel tool. All right, that did the trick right there. But the spokes were a little softer than I thought they were, so they actually grinded pretty good. All right, let's check it. We'll take a closer look at my work, and then that'll be the end of this part of the video. All right. Oh, we can put the rim strip on. That's what we could do. Okay, there's my work. See, it's pretty flush. I could run my fingernail over it without it getting stuck too much. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, but like I said, like once we get the when we put the rib strip over it, it'll help, you know. But yeah, it's pretty flat. You can see I grinded the rim a little bit here, so hopefully that doesn't mess with the integrity of the wheel. I think it should be fine. This one's still sticking out a little bit. That's okay. If it sticks out a little bit, I don't mind. Okay. It looks pretty good. I looked at all of them. There's 36 spokes, and I went through all of them pretty fast. Yeah, pretty much almost all of them needed to be grinded. But they're pretty much all flush now. I'm sure we could still loosen or tighten the spokes, no problem. Okay. Alright, cool deal. Okay, let's go put the rim strip on now. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to install the rim strip. This guy right here. So I'm going to go look for a hole. There's two holes in here. I don't know which one to pick. How about we pick this one right here? It doesn't really matter. Just pick one Hades Vega. One of them is for a rim lock, and one of them is for a valve stem. All right, so. Still a relatively new rim strip. That's what I want to say, because this came off a pretty new wheel. Okay, and just make sure everything's in the center. Wow, this wheel it's easier to center the because it's wider, I guess. It's easier to center the rim strip, right? All right, there we go. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to install the sprocket. Okay. Okay, we're going to go ahead and install this sprocket. Should be a piece of cake. We're just going to use the 5 bolts that came with it. I'm going to put some Loctite on it. I always do. There's still a good amount of Loctite on the threads in the hub. That's what I'm going to say. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go in a cross pattern and just snug it real quick. Okay, and then now we're going to go torque it. Okay. 22 foot-pounds is what I'm torquing it to. All right, 22 foot-pounds is what I'm torquing it to. I'm just going to tighten each one a little bit at a time until we get to our torque. Okay, that's pretty close already. Okay, there's one. Okay, there's two. 3, 4, 5. All right, and we're going to go around in a circle one time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there we go. Sprocket is installed. Alright, hey, he's been here, and so that is the end of this portion of the video. Alright, so in this part of the video, in my wheel building vlog, I showed you the tire that we're going to be using. Alright, we'll be installing that in the next video. I grinded the spokes down so they were flush with the nipples. All right, I didn't want them sticking out too much and like poking at the tube. All right, and then we installed the rim strip. All right, the rubber band, and then we installed the Warp9 sprocket. All right, the 48.2 sprocket. All right, so that's the end of this video. In the next video, we will be installing the Dunlop tire, all right, and the tube, the new Tusk Racing tube, and well, Tusk Off-Road, and then we'll be installing it on the bike, all right. And if you're wondering, I'm not going to be installing the rear. I do have a rear rotor for this, brake rotor, but we're not going to use it because I don't have a rear brake caliper on the bike anymore. So it finally gave up, and I decided I'm just not going to use it. I rarely use the rear brake on this bike. I'm not going to lie, it's kind of handy to have a rear brake for stuff, you know, like if to keep your bike from rolling down a hill and stuff, but like I rarely use it, you know, when I ride, so that's what I'm going to say. So I decided to just chuck it until I can find something to replace it, you know. I preferably like the newer Suron calipers or things. So, but anyway, we're not going to run it. We'll see. We'll see how that works out this season. So I'll say we're going to run without a rear rotor. I don't know if they're going to say anything about it during tech. All right, but there's no caliper, so why would we need a rotor? You know, so it might make the wheel lighter. All right, is what I'll say. We won't have the bolts, so we won't have the rotor, even though the rotors are kind of dinky on the Suron. So yeah. So if you're wondering, yeah, what about the rotor, Hades Vega? No, we're not going to run the rotor for this season, all right? Because Hades Vega has something called regen, all right, and that he's heavily dependent on it. That's what I'll say. Okay, but yeah, maybe if we had better front and rear brakes, actually, for Supermoto, it might be good to have a rear brake because the regen may fail. Yeah, sometimes the regen, like, it doesn't work anymore, and then and we're going to have that problem where we're only going to have a front brake. We're not going to have a rear brake any longer. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with these with this Magura MT5. So I might see if I could just get another MT5 and then put it in the back. All right. What I don't like about the Surod brakes is that they're not very durable. They don't last very long. All right, I rarely use that rear brake and it broke itself. All right, so what happens is the calipers got stuck and then they wouldn't go back in, and I just don't want to deal with that stuff anymore. I have to worry about the rear wheel locking up and stuff. Okay, I've had it for quite some time. Hayes Vegas should just get a new caliper, I guess, if I can find one. Anyway, so that's the end of this video. In the next video, we will be installing the Dunlop Moto 3 slick, and then yeah, we'll be installing a rim decal on this also. I'm undecided whether I'm going to put the decal over the Excel logos because they look cool. I might not do that. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll just put one. We'll put one sticker here, and then maybe we'll just use 2 stickers, and then we'll keep the Excel logos on there. I don't know. We'll figure something out when we get there. Okay, but yeah, that's going to be in the next video, and then we'll finally mount it on the bike, and then we'll be done. All right, here's we go.